KX Storm Team.
It is day 2 of a 3-day blizzard. Thank you for joining us for KX News. How about a little tour here? This is a live shot of Minot, and boy, the visibility. This is as bad as I've seen it the entire storm on this camera in Minot. That is very, very bad. Here's Wofford City, winter, chicken dinner. This one's worse. Look at that visibility. You can barely see it. That is awful. It is a little bit better in Bismarck, but it has been bad. Bismarck had a lot worse last night. This is the radar. The heaviest snow is in the north, and that is likely where it's going to be staying. But check out these wind gusts. 54 miles an hour. 56. It said 60 a little bit ago. And the winds could get even stronger tonight. I'll be back with a recap of what happened so far and what to expect here on out in just a few minutes.
Coming up next on KX News at 5, we're not out of the storm just yet. As you heard from Tom there, we give you the latest on its path and what more we can expect. And an influx of emergency calls as the storm continues moving through the state. Plus,
Putting North Dakota first. KX News at 5 starts now.
good evening. I'm Brooke Williams. Thank you for joining us. Nicholas has the night off. Leading local tonight, it made sure its presence was known. Many comparing the conditions we've been seeing to those of April 1997. From April 4th through the 7th of that year, a strong Colorado low brought the worst blizzard of the season for the state. Snow was accumulating around 1.5 inches per hour with 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, leading to a blizzard. That blizzard ended Sunday the 6th. And now we turn our attention to current conditions outside. We are joined by Kiara Brown and Minot. Kiara, what are you seeing out there?
Brooke, as you can see, the snow is piled high out here, and the city of Minot is still on a no travel advisory, which could be a problem for those experiencing emergencies. I spoke with the vice president of Trinity Hospital. He and his staff have been doing everything they can to continue to do their jobs through the storm and still provide emergency services to the area. Trinity's vice president tells me that the road conditions still recommend calling emergency services before driving to the ER.
For those that have an emergency and call on EMS and first response, Trinity's ambulance, they'll get there. They'll get there one way or the other. And they have vehicles that have 4-wheel drive. They also have other partners in the community to help them get there. So they've been busy, and there's been no break in 911 calls for sure.
We are still advising people not to drive if they don't have to. But if you do have to go outside, make sure you have lots of warm layers on. I have 4 layers on right now, and I feel like I might need to put more on before you check back with us on KX News at 6. Stay warm and safe. Brooke, back to you.
Thanks so much, Kiara. You stay warm as well. And now we're going to check back in with meteorologist Tom Schrader. Tom, what can we expect from here on out? I know we're only about at the midway point of this blizzard. So what's in store for us next?
Well, what we're really looking at for tonight is going to be, well, snow, of course, and a lot of this, the heavier snow is going to be in the north, but the winds are ramping up, I mean, considerably. I just saw a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust in Hettinger a bit ago. I was on talking with some folks at Keys Radio in Williston about 3:15 or so, and a huge wind gust went through there. They said it rocked the building. And so when you think about it, this is a very, there's a whole lot of snow here. This is going to be blowing around, and I really don't see the wind dropping off a lot until we get into the weekend. So even as the storm moves out, it's still going to be we're still going to have blowing snow. So that really is what we're looking at here, is a lot of blowing snow from here on out.
All right, thank you so much, Tom, for that update. And now we are going to head. We do not have Adrian. Okay, we are going to try to check back in with Adrian in just a minute. Many residents are trying to stay ahead of the snowstorm. This morning, some decided to go in for round 2 Working to get rid of the soft stuff from around their homes, the Galster family deciding to divvy up the work by getting the whole family involved in Operation Get It Into the Driveway. Scott Galster says he's been out all night trying to make sure the Capitol building was squared away. And after a long night of shoveling and plowing the parking lots, he and his family said it was time to get their home in order.
No, I just got home. Just got home from doing it. I'll have to go back out again tonight. Yeah, so just trying to get in the driveway now.
The Galster family has been living in Bismarck, and they remember that snowstorm in 1997 that brought 17.5 inches of snow to the area. And now I do believe we have Adrian and Taylor outside in Bismarck. What are conditions out there like, ladies?
Yes, Brooke, as you can see, it's very windy outside, knocking some things out of place, and it's so cold. We are standing here in some snow. Taylor, how many feet of snow do you think that we're in? I know you brought your yardstick.
Well, if you could see here, I'm going to stick it down in this drift here, and this is even one of the bigger ones in this parking lot, but this barely covers it.
Well, I guess the ruler I brought just won't work and won't cut it out. So, Taylor, what's the snow feeling like?
It's wet and it's sticky and the wind is smacking you in the face. It's best to take everyone's advice and stay home.
Please, we talked to our friend over at the North Dakota Department of Transportation, and he gave us some good advice and told us what they're going to be doing for the next few days.
Weigh their needs versus their wants would be the first thing. If you absolutely do need to travel, be safe. Like I said, if you're out on the highways, give the plows room. Have a safety kit in your car in case an emergency happens and you get stuck or stranded. With the drifts that we're having, it would be very easy for your car to get hung up in some sort of snowdrift and be stuck there. And
he says that there are overnight workers only in the cities of Bismarck, Fargo, and Minot.
They say that they just don't have the funds to get people elsewhere right now overnight, but those workers that do go to those cities, they try to get where they can, and if they can go out of their reach, they do. But we are going to take his advice. We're going to go inside. We have our safety kit. We're prepared, but we're going to go try to get warm now, Brooke. Back to you.
A good idea, Adrian. Yes, toss that ruler aside. It's not going to get you very far out there. I know you and I were out there earlier, and you just sink down into that snow. Coming up next on KX News at 5, police have a man in custody accused of carrying out a New York subway shooting. Plus, many are questioning why proper security protocols weren't in place in order to possibly stop it from happening. And more on the slippery and powdery conditions outside. Tom has your full forecast up next.